Breeding can be tricky when we talk about fish, but we're going to talk about koi today, but we're also going to reference some other fish as well. I'm James and you're watching Blue Dog Aquatics. So, one of the biggest things when it comes to breeding season is aggression with fish, because they want to do the deed, and I'm going to try to keep this as PG as I can, but they want to do the deed and they are going to do anything in their power to do it. Now, with koi, in the wild, what would happen is the male, like that boy right there, would push the girls, this girl right here, or that girl right there, into the reeds. The females would then drop their eggs in the reeds, and then the male would come behind and fertilize. Now, when you have fish in captivity, obviously we don't have reeds growing out of the, I mean, if you do, props to you. But in captivity, we typically don't have reeds for them to do, so we have to put in something artificial. We can do spawning nets. A good trick is actually doing yarn spawning nets, because it, just trust me, I've been doing it for years and it works very, very well. Now, what can happen with the aggression if left unchecked? Now, homeboy here has actually killed 3 females. We've done necropsies because we had issues where we would just have females just up and died. They were loaded with eggs, and I couldn't figure out. I was like, maybe it's the water parameters. We just got the algae bloom in the water under control, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So our friend Dr. Merklund did a necropsy on the first fish. Now, if you ever have a fish die or animal die, don't freeze them, because it changes the chemistry in the body and it makes it more difficult to identify stuff during a necropsy. It's better if you take the animal right away to the person doing the necropsy, and then they can preserve it or do what they need to be done. It's just easier. Now, what happened when he opened up the female was, A, she was loaded with eggs. So we knew that she was ready to breed, ready to drop eggs. But what happened was that on the outside wall, so not in the body, in the body cavity itself, there was no blood. If you get squeamish about talk about blood or anything like that, skip ahead here. But in the body cavity itself, you could tip it upside down with the opening and there not be any blood in the inside. But what was seen between the muscle and the outer layer of skin was there was actually blood in between there, which indicates trauma. Now, like I said, the males will push those females, and by push, I mean they will ram the females into the reeds or wherever they want to spawn. And what's happening every time he hits a female is he's causing damage to the body of the female. Now, your more mature females, like this girl right here, they can tolerate some of the abuse, or even my big girl right here. But younger koi, like that girl, or that girl, that young girl, you can see how plump she is? That tells me she has eggs. They can't take the abuse from a full-size male. I'm trying to get away from the light, but it's just right there. So, those are things to watch for. If you notice that your koi have beat up fins, if they're pinkish on the sides, it's typically because, and normally, when koi are outside, typically they spawn in April to May. Most of the time, it's the first hot day of the year. By hot day, I mean normally where the water temperature is going to be 70 to 75, even in the 80s. That is my personal experience. That is not what every koi has their mind of their own, and every breeder does the mind of their own. Normally, we will not see a second spawn When you have them inside in ponds in climate control, it changes. I've noticed that when I have my koi outside, they'll only spawn once a year. But when they're inside in a regulated pond where the temperature is year round, they'll spawn twice a year. So, yeah. Now, males can hit the females so hard that they can actually remove scales. And like I said, you'll notice damaged fins. So if you are going to breed your koi, two things you can do. A, make sure that the pond is big enough for the females to be able to get away from the male. B is putting in spawning nets or putting in reeds or something for the females to deposit their eggs. Or C, you can actually milk the koi. Now, when I talk about milking, again here, essentially, and I can do a video if you guys want, but so we're keeping this PG. We're going to remove the eggs. We're going to help remove the eggs from the females, and we're going to help remove the stuff from the male, and we're going to put it together and then move the eggs off site. When you remove the components of the eggs and the male's stuff, what you're going to do is you're going to reduce the stress in the pond or with your koi. The aggression of the male will go down because he feels like he's done his job. And the females, well, they're not getting harassed anymore. So another indicator also is if your females are being lazy. By lazy, I mean they typically sit on the bottom and don't do a lot. It's not because they're full or anything like that. It's because they're carrying so many eggs that it's just tiring. It's kind of like a pregnant woman. As they get further along in the pregnancy, they become tired. This is perfectly natural. So, I just wanted to share this, guys, because this is a current issue that we're having right now. It's something that we can address. If you don't want to breed and don't want your males being aggressive with your females, what you can do is, if you have a secondary pond, you can actually move your males into there, and that way your females have a chance to drop, your male has a chance to kind of decompress, and you'll be good to go. And after they've done that, then they can be reintroduced together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I was trying to be as informative as I could while keeping it PG era. Like I said, if you want me to do a more in-depth explanation of koi breeding, just let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you to all the new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And we have some new and exciting videos coming along, and we can't wait to share them with you guys. So until next time, we'll see you later.